Now that I've made the joiner, I'm going to make a box for this to fit into. So I have sanded this, cleaned it up, trimmed it up all nicely, and I've covered it in 2 layers of flash tape, or you can use the normal box tape, that buff colored box tape or the clear box tape to cover this. I put 2 layers on. This is just going to give me a little bit of extra space between this and the box. Now I've then taken my ram wax, I've waxed this box here. I've also put a bit of this flash tape on the edge of the PVC foam board just to seal it up, make it a little bit less likely to stick. Now I've also put a little arrow on the end over there. I don't know if that'll be visible, but there's a little arrow on the end just to show me which is the narrow side, because it tapers from here to there. It's parallel and then tapers. Right, so I'm going to put the Ease Release 200, Mann Ease Release 200 on. This is just one of my favorite releases for this kind of thing, because it doesn't give you a gloss finish, unfortunately. It gives you a matte finish, but it is a really good release agent. Putting it on the joiner as well. Now I'm using the joiner to create the box. So, right, I'll just put that over there out of the way to dry off a little bit. Give this a few minutes to dry off as well. Right, now, okay, I'm going to build the box out of, let me just put this in the sun a bit just to speed up the curing. This is a product called, which we call Aramid Poly B, or Aramid Polyester. The black is polyester fibers, and the Aramid is the yellow fibers, or the Kevlar are the yellow fibers, and then also a layer of 106 just to basically wrap everything up. I've calculated the distance that I need, and I've got a little bit extra for a bit of an overlap. So when I constructed this box, I took the joiner and I put it in the box, and I spaced it with 2 strips of Mylar. Now these are 250 micron, or 0.25 of a millimeter, and so they go in either side. And when I screwed this this on here, and I just want to make doubly sure that it is, I'm just going to loosen up these screws just to make 100% sure that these can fit in here. Now there is a slight taper on this, as I said, on this joiner. So I just want to put these in. These are 250 micron, and there's a slight taper. So I'm going to slide that over there. It fits nicely, and then just retighten these screws just to make doubly sure. Now, the reason for the 250 micron, or the 2.25 of a millimeter, is that I know that this layup, when I'm finished with it, will be about 250 micron, or 0.25 of a millimeter. So in other words, this layup in here, this layup, which will go inside this box, will be that ever so slightly, I've made the box just ever so slightly bigger so that this can fit in and wrap around. Alright, so the first thing that we do is obviously get some resin, which I've mixed up again. I'm using my Ecolam 2022, same resin system, and just give it a good stir. Make sure that this is thoroughly mixed. I have pre-mixed this, but just making doubly sure. Don't need a hang of a lot. I think I've got about 14 grams or something in here. Right, so let's just put the 106 glass in first. Now this is again cut at 45 degrees. What I can do in the meantime is this piece of wood, or not wood, this piece of PVC foam board, I'm also just going to give it a spritz of Ease Release 200. This is just going to be the lid to close this thing. Set this aside to dry somewhere. Right. Okay, so now the next thing is the Aramid polyester fabric. Also cut at 45, by the way. Everything is cut at 45. Right, so we can just... Now, instead of trying to wrap the joiner and push or put tape on or put it in a bag or anything like that, I use this method of doing it. And I find that this works exceptionally well. I just need to make sure that the resin is wet up the sides here. So it's unlike the joiner where I'm going to be putting tons and tons and tons of resin. I just need enough resin in here to wet this out. I don't need tons of resin. Because there's only one little layer basically of it. Right, so I'm pretty happy with that. I just want to sop up a little bit of the excess. Just put a paper towel in here, absorb some of that excess resin. It's actually quite a lot of excess resin. There we go. Right, so we can turf that towel away, paper towel. Now, we're going to take the joiner. Now, obviously, I've got to make sure this is the narrow side. There's my little arrow, which is the narrow side, this side. And I just want to push this now. And you can see how nice and snugly that fitted inside there. So these two pieces of fabric have fitted very snugly between the box that I've made and the joiner itself. Right, so here we're just going to wet this piece, fold this down, wet it out. Just want to make sure that it is properly wet out. And then I can fold this piece down on top of it. Now, the height this way, I've also compensated by putting a little bit of mylar underneath this, just to elevate it that 250 microns off the bottom. Right, so we've now got two layers. Well, I've got the Aramid layer down, but it's called Aramid Poly B or Aramid polyester. It's a black polyester fabric. It's not Aramid carbon, it's Aramid polyester. Makes great joiners and stuff that you don't want to break or have break very easily. Right, now everything is nicely wet out. It's all that's left for me to do is to close it up with a lid, and this lid I'm just going to put on. It's a bit oversized, and I'm just going to put some clamps over here. Turn this upside down so you can see. Right, we'll turn this way this time so it's closer to the edge of the workbench. Just need a block of wood. Okay, piece of wood on the top here. I hope these clamps are going to be long enough. They will be just long enough. Otherwise I'll have to get a thinner piece of wood, I think. We'll see. There we go. Perfect. Don't need a huge amount of pressure this time because I just want to keep this all together and consolidate all the fibers nicely together. Alright, just make sure that the clamp goes over the center or over the joiner itself. And that's it. So now we'll leave this to cure overnight and we'll demold tomorrow, and then hopefully I'll be able to slide that joiner out of the inside. Now there's no guarantee that that's going to happen, so I just pray. If it doesn't, I will cut it and then I will wrap another piece of fabric over it, but we'll show you that anyway when we get to that stage. And that's it. So there's the joiner box now being constructed. Over here I've got another joiner in production. So this joiner box will be for this joiner, and obviously this will be glued into the wings of the K8. It's going to be a bagged wing, and you've seen in other videos me making elevators and rudder molds and what have you. Thanks.